Let's be honest. The most dangerous kind of attraction isn't loud, obvious, or easy to read. It's quiet. It hides in plain sight. And if you're not paying attention, you'll completely miss the moment a woman stops being interested and starts becoming obsessed. You've been taught to look for the obvious signs, the texts, the compliments, the attention. But obsession doesn't begin where most men think it does. It begins in silence, in the spaces between what she says and what she feels. Because when a woman craves you deeply, she won't always show it in ways that are easy for you to decode. In fact, the deeper it gets, the more controlled she becomes. Not distant controlled. There's a difference. And most men misread that difference and ruin something powerful before it ever has the chance to grow. See, attraction is easy to fake. Anyone can laugh at your jokes. Anyone can reply to your messages. Anyone can play the role. But if obsession, that's different. Obsession leaks out in subtle behavior she can't fully control, no matter how composed she tries to appear. It's in the way she remembers something small you said, something you forgot 5 minutes after saying it. It's in how she watches you when you're not looking, studying you like she's trying to solve a puzzle she didn't expect to care about. It's in the tension she carries when you're around, like she's holding something back she's not ready to reveal. And here's the part most men don't understand. When a woman is truly craving you, she becomes hyper-aware of herself around you. Not relaxed, not careless, aware. Every word she says, every reaction she gives, every move she makes, she's filtering it, adjusting it, trying to stay in control of something that feels like it's slowly slipping. Because deep down, obsession feels dangerous to her. It means she's losing emotional control. It means you're getting access to parts of her she doesn't give easily. And that scares her more than it excites her. So instead of leaning in the way you expect, she pulls back just enough to protect herself. And that's where most men make their biggest mistake. They see the pullback and assume she's losing interest. So they chase harder. They overcreated. They try to prove themselves. They lean forward at the exact moment she needs space to process what she's feeling. And in doing that, they break the tension. Because obsession doesn't grow in pressure. It grows in mystery, in uncertainty, in emotional contrast. The more she has to think about you, wonder about you, feel the absence of you, the deeper it pulls her in. You don't create obsession by giving her more of you. You create it by becoming something she can't fully figure out, but can't walk away from either. So if you've ever felt like a woman was acting different around you, like there was something beneath the surface you couldn't quite explain, you were probably closer to the truth than you realized. The problem is you didn't know what to look for. And once you understand these signs, once you start seeing the patterns behind her behavior, you'll realize something most men never do. When a woman is secretly obsessed with you, she's not going to say it, but she will show it in ways that are impossible to fake and even harder to ignore. The first sign isn't what she says to you. It's what she does when you're not giving her attention. A woman who's casually interested will respond when you reach out. She'll engage when it's convenient. But a woman who's craving you deeply, she doesn't just react to your presence. She feels your absence. And that's where it starts to show. You'll notice it in the way she finds subtle reasons to re-enter your world. Not in obvious, desperate ways, but in small, almost accidental moments. A message that doesn't really need to be sent. A reaction to something you posted hours ago. A question she could have easily figured out on her own, but chose to ask you instead. It won't look like chasing. It will look like coincidence, but it's not. Because when a woman is thinking about you more than she wants to admit, her mind starts creating pathways back to you. She doesn't even fully realize she's doing it. She just feels this pull, this quiet urge to reconnect, to check in, to remind herself you're still there. And here's the detail most men miss. The timing. It's not random. It's often when you've been quiet, when you haven't reached out, when your attention has been somewhere else. That's when she feels it the most. That's when the curiosity starts creeping in, the questions she can't answer, the slight discomfort of not knowing where she stands with you. And instead of sitting in that feeling, she breaks it, gently, subtly, but intentionally. Because a woman who's emotionally invested doesn't just want your attention, she wants reassurance without asking for it. She wants to feel that connection without having to expose how much she actually cares. So she creates these small openings, these little doors for you to walk through. And if you're paying attention, you'll see them. But here's where most men get it wrong. The moment she reaches out, they overcommit. They respond too fast, too eager, too available. They flood the moment with energy that feels disproportionate. And suddenly what was building tension disappears because mystery dies the moment everything becomes predictable. A woman who's craving you doesn't need you to chase her every move. She needs to feel like there's something about you she hasn't fully unlocked yet. Something just out of reach. That's what keeps her mind coming back. That's what turns simple attraction into something deeper, something harder to shake. So when she finds those subtle ways to come back into your space, don't suffocate it. Let it breathe. Match her energy, but don't overwhelm it. Give just enough to keep the connection alive, but not so much that it becomes easy. Because the moment it becomes easy, it stops being exciting. And the moment it stops being exciting, the obsession fades before it ever fully forms. Understand this. When a woman is secretly craving you, she doesn't want all of you at once. She wants pieces, moments, fragments she can think about later. That's what lingers. That's what grows. And if you learn to recognize when she's creating those moments, you'll start to see something shift. She's not just responding to you anymore. She's reaching for you even when she doesn't realize it. The next sign is something most men completely overlook because it doesn't look like attraction at all. It looks like resistance. A woman who is casually interested will go along with things. She'll agree. She'll follow your lead. She'll keep things smooth and easy. But a woman who is deeply drawn to you, who feels that pull she can't quite control, she challenges you not to push your way, but to understand you. You'll notice it in the way she questions you. Not aggressively, but curiously. She'll test your opinions, poke at your logic, disagree with you in small ways that don't feel random. It's not about winning an argument. It's about seeing how you think, how you react, how solid you are under pressure. Because when she's craving you, she's not just attracted to how you look or what you say. She's trying to figure out if you're real, if you're consistent, if you're someone she can't easily shake off once she lets you in. And here's the truth. That curiosity comes from emotional risk. The more she feels pulled towards you, the more her mind starts asking questions. Is he different? Is he worth it? What happens if I actually let myself feel this? So instead of falling in effortlessly, she creates friction. Small moments where she leans back just enough to see if you'll stay grounded or if you'll fold under the pressure. And most men fail right here. They take it personally, they get defensive, they try to prove themselves, they start explaining too much, talking too much, reacting too emotionally. And in doing that, they answer her question not with words, but with behavior. Because what she's really looking for isn't perfection, it's stability. She wants to see if you can hold your frame when things aren't smooth, if you can stay calm when she disagrees, if you can smile instead of tighten up, if you can stand in your perspective without needing her approval. That's what makes her feel something deeper. Because a man who gets shaken easily feels temporary. But a man who stays grounded, who doesn't get pulled into emotional reactions, feels rare, and rarity creates value. So when she pushes back, when she teases, questions, or lightly challenges you, don't shut it down. Don't overreact. Lean into it, but with control. Let her see that you're not easily moved, that you're not trying to impress her. You're simply being yourself without needing validation. Because in that moment, she's not trying to create distance. She's trying to feel something solid, something she can trust. And when she finds that, when she realizes you're not like the others who crumble under pressure or chase approval the moment it's tested, that's when something shifts inside her. The resistance softens, the curiosity deepens, and the emotional investment starts growing faster than she expected. Because now it's not just about attraction anymore, it's about discovery. And once a woman becomes emotionally invested in figuring you out, she doesn't walk away easily. She leans in, even if she pretends she's holding back. There's another sign, and this one is quieter, deeper, and far more revealing than anything she'll ever say out loud. She starts opening emotional doors, but only halfway. A woman who isn't invested keeps things light. Surface-level conversations, safe topics, easy laughs, nothing that exposes too much of who she really is. But when she's craving you, when something about you is pulling her in deeper she expected, she begins to reveal pieces of herself she doesn't show to just anyone. But she won't do it all at once. She'll give you fragments, a story from her past, but not the full meaning behind it. A vulnerable moment, but wrapped in humor so it doesn't feel too heavy. A personal opinion, but softened just in case you don't respond the way she hopes. It's controlled vulnerability, and that control is everything, because she's not just sharing, she's watching. Watching how you react, watching what you do with the information, watching whether you dismiss it, ignore it, or handle it with care. Because every time she opens up, even just a little, she's taking a risk. And the more she feels for you, the bigger that risk becomes. So she tests it in small doses, and most men don't even notice. They either brush past it, missing the moment completely, or they go too far the other way, turning it into something too intense, too serious, too fast. They interrogate, they overanalyze, they make her feel like she's being pulled deeper than she's ready for. And that's when she shuts down. Not because she lost interest, but because she lost control. Understand this. When a woman is slowly opening up to you, she doesn't want to feel exposed. She wants to feel safe without feeling vulnerable. There's a difference. Safety comes from how you hold the moment, From your ability to listen without rushing, to respond without judgment, to stay present without trying to take over. It's in the calmness of your energy, the way you don't react too strongly, but also don't dismiss what she shares. It's subtle, but she feels it. And when she feels that kind of emotional safety, something shifts inside her. She starts going deeper, not all at once, but gradually. The stories get more personal, the pauses get longer, the eye contact lingers just a little more. And suddenly, you're not just someone she enjoys being around. You're someone she's starting to trust. And trust is where obsession begins to take root. Because once a woman trusts you with her inner world, her thoughts, her emotions, the parts of her she doesn't show easily, she becomes connected to you in a way that goes beyond surface attraction. You're no longer just a man in her life. You become a space. She returns to a feeling she associates with comfort, with understanding, with something real. And that's powerful, because physical attraction can fade, attention can be replaced, but emotional connection, when it's built slowly and handled correctly, it lingers, it stays. So when she gives you those small pieces of herself, don't rush to collect them all at once. Let her offer them, receive them with care, and most importantly, don't break the moment by trying to turn it into something bigger than it is. Because the deeper she feels without pressure, the more she'll come back willingly, ready to give you more. And that's when you know it's no longer casual for her. It's becoming something she feels even when she tries not to. There's a shift that happens when a woman stops just liking you and starts craving you. It shows up in her focus. Not the obvious kind. Not the attention she gives you when you're right in front of her. That's easy. Anyone can be present in the moment. But this is different. This is the kind of focus that follows you even when you're not there. You'll start to notice it in the smallest details. She remembers things you didn't think mattered. The way you take your coffee, a random opinion you mentioned once, a story you told in passing that even you barely recall. She holds on to these things, not because she's trying to impress you, but because her mind is naturally placing value on you. And that only happens when you've taken up space in her thoughts. Because when a woman is emotionally neutral, she doesn't store information about you like that. There's no reason to. You're just another interaction, another conversation, another passing moment. But when she's craving you, her mind starts organizing around you. You become a reference point. And here is where it gets even deeper. She begins to compare, not in a way she'll ever admit, but internally, constantly. Other men start to feel less engaging, less interesting, less aligned with whatever it is she feels when she's around. And she doesn't fully understand why. She just knows something is different. And difference pulls her back to you again and again. But there's another layer most men never catch. When a woman is this invested, she starts observing you more closely than you realize. Not just what you say, but how you move, how you react, how you treat other people, how consistent you are across different situations. Because now it matters. Now you're not just someone she enjoys. You're someone she's evaluating on a deeper level. Not consciously like a checklist, but emotionally, instinctively. Is he always like this? Is this real or just how he is with me? Can I trust this feeling? And while she's asking those questions, she's also becoming more affected by you. Your attention feels heavier. Your absence feels louder. A slight change in your tone, a delayed response, a moment of distance, it doesn't go unnoticed anymore. It lingers with her. It makes her think. Sometimes more than she wants to. Because once a woman starts craving you, you begin to influence her emotional state in ways you didn't before. And that's where things become fragile. Because this is the stage where most men lose it. They sense her investment and they change. They become too available, too predictable, too eager to maintain what they think they've secured. They start over-giving, over-explaining, over-showing up, thinking it will strengthen the connection. But it does the opposite. Because the moment you remove the tension, the moment you make everything certain, easy, and fully accessible, you remove the very thing that made her feel something deeper. Mystery doesn't mean playing games. It means not giving everything away at once. It means staying consistent but not predictable, present but not overwhelming. Because what she's drawn to isn't just who you, it's how you make her feel when she doesn't have all of you figured out yet. So when you notice she's remembering the details, observing you more closely, reacting more deeply to your presence and absence, don't rush to lock it in. Let it build. Let her feel it fully. Because the more space you give that feeling to grow without forcing it, the deeper it roots itself inside her. And once it's there, it doesn't fade easily. And then there's the final sign, the one that changes everything if you understand it. She starts fighting herself. not you, herself. Because when a woman becomes deeply drawn to a man she didn't plan on wanting this much, it creates an internal conflict she can't easily explain. Part of her wants to move closer, to lean in, to feel more of whatever this is. But another part of her pulls back, not because she's losing interest, but because she's feeling too much. You'll notice it in the inconsistency. Moments where she's warm, almost completely open, followed by moments where she becomes distant, quieter, harder to read. And if you don't understand what's happening, it will confuse you. You'll think she's unsure about you. You'll think she's playing games. You'll think you did something wrong. But the truth is, she's trying to regain control over something that feels like it's starting to control her. Because deep emotional attraction isn't comfortable. It's intense. It forces her to confront vulnerability, uncertainty, and the possibility of getting hurt. And no matter how much she enjoys being around you, that risk never fully disappears. So she creates space not to leave, but to breathe. Not to disconnect, but to study herself. And this is where everything depends on you. Because most men react emotionally to the shift. They chase when she pulls back. They question her, pressure her, demand clarity she's not ready to give. They try to force consistency when what she actually needs is space to process what she's feeling. And in doing that, they push her further away. Because now, instead of feeling something natural building inside her, she feels pressure from the outside. And pressure kills attraction faster than anything else. But if you handle this moment differently, if you stay grounded, if you don't panic, if you don't chase or withdraw completely, you give her something rare. You give her emotional stability in the middle of her internal chaos. And that's what anchors her. Because now she's not just feeling drawn to you, she's feeling safe with you. Safe to feel what she's feeling without being rushed, judged, or overwhelmed. And that combination, attraction and safety, is what turns craving into something deeper, something lasting. So instead of reacting to her inconsistency, understand it, respect it, let her come and go without making it a problem. Because every time she pulls away and then chooses to come back, it's not random. It's a decision, a quiet one, but a powerful one. And those decisions, repeated over time, are what build real emotional attachment. Now listen carefully. If you've recognized even a few of these signs in a woman in your life, then you already know something is there, something unspoken, something growing beneath the surface. So here's the question I want you to answer, and I don't want you to overthink it. If her effort times her consistency times her emotional openness, her true level of desire, what does your equation look like right now? Be honest. Drop your answer in the comments. And if this made you see things differently, if it gave you clarity you didn't have before, like the video, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Because most men will never understand this until it's too late.